Yo, yo.
Hello.
What is up?
Oh, not much. We were playing the old Only 90s Kids Will Get This game on YouTube.
Yeah?
Yeah. Honestly, there were several things I didn't get from the 90s, but I should have.
Right.
My husband was a damn G at it, though, and he's younger than me.
Was he?
He was like, oh, this thing was called the... Of course, he had every toy under the sun. I did not, to be fair. Just going to point that out.
Nice. I just got done watching a movie with my kids. We were watching the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, I think my boys will like this movie. My youngest one liked parts of it, but my oldest boy ended up liking it a lot. He even was moved to tears at one point.
There are some pretty... That's my dad's favorite movie.
Really?
Yep. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah, I can't explain. It's pretty good. It's pretty
good.
entertaining.
It's good. Can't harp on it at all.
Yeah. What are you working on tonight?
Well, I had things to do. Really, I did. But I decided, I don't feel like it tonight.
Yeah.
And so I was going to do somebody when we were on one of these Saturday night ones asked that I do a wyvern skeleton.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So I'm going to attempt it. We'll see how this looks.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I have you.
Thanks, Rob.
Not a lot, but some.
Oh, you bastard.
You sons of bitches. You know I'm kidding. Ish. Sort of ish.
You're like a kind of kidding.
To make
It's that. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm not. I'm just making fun of you just because it's a thing to do.
Oh, I see. I actually had something serious to talk about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Start over. Ready? Go.
I'm just kidding. But no, my brother-in-law was in a car accident tonight.
Oh shit. Obviously, I'm getting everything's all right.
Yes, he's okay, but head-on collision. Brand new car he got last week.
Oh hell no! Really?
Yeah. Luckily, it was not his fault.
Yeah, that's always the important component.
Yeah, so he should be able to get everything covered and all that without having his insurance go too much, but he's pretty upset because he just got it. So
I'd be pissed as hell.
yeah. Yep, he was not happy.
But he's fine though, right? No.
Yeah, he said they were feeling some pain, him and his girlfriend. So they were feeling a little bit of pain, but they were doing okay. I told them to go to the doctor. They said they'll probably go tomorrow. When they wake up. I mean, they were able to walk away okay. Somebody else, I think maybe the car that hit him actually was taken away with an ambulance. So.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like, I'm not concerned about my own driving. I know that I'm just fine, but it's those other lunatics out there.
You know what? I can't say anything. I've been in several car accidents, plenty of which have been on me, so.
You're a terror on the road then, huh?
I had my license one day, and I had a car accident and totaled my little Dodge Shadow 91.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And I let you drive my brand new Dodge Charger that one time.
See? Maybe you shouldn't have. Remember when I was like, so afraid? Maybe you should have taken that as a clue.
Oh my gosh. You're like, I don't want to do it. So I'm like, oh, you're fine. I trust you. Go ahead. You can drive. You're like, all right, I'll just not tell him the part. I crashed a couple cars.
Exactly.
Well, lesson learned.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so it looks like you're working on some of your beautiful.
Yeah, got pages to work on.
Yeah,
Got 3 different ones. I've got them in various stages of completion, so I just keep noodling away at different parts of it.
yeah. Looks good.
Yeah,
You not happy with
yeah,
it? Why do you sound like a cat? What?
yeah.
What's going on here?
Having a weird moment.
Apparently.
There's a roommate saying, now I'll never let her drive my car, which I have.
Oh, never going to let me drive his car. Okay. What's the story here? Have you let her or have you not?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Um, I think when she had to take me to the Instacare, when I
Nice.
ended up having COVID pneumonia and then got hospitalized, I'm pretty sure she had my car one of those times. She'll chime in. I'm sure
And
she,
she'll say, nope, he made me walk.
right? Rob's a lying mother effer.
Misty says meow.
Right.
Communicating with you.
Apparently, I'm making kitty sounds, according to you.
I mean, it did kind of sound like a cat.
All right.
I'm just pointing that out there.
I am not a kitty. I would be if I could.
That would be bomb.
If you can get with the right people taking care of you and just lounge around getting pets and foods and sleep, I'll do that all day.
Dude, my cat doesn't really do the whole lounging around and taking pets and stuff. We call him, his nickname is Murder Paws. He likes to kill anything he can find. We have, unfortunately, I can no longer feed my birds in my backyard with my bird feeder.
Yeah.
He will, I mean, it doesn't matter if he's just eaten, it doesn't matter. He will just destroy any bird out there. And he's pretty good at it. I mean, we find dead bodies all over the backyard. It's like a war zone. He kills rats and mice. I found them both back there. Snakes, he'll kill snakes.
So you
He's
got a murder kitty. Well, he's a hunter. That's okay. That's not a bad thing.
no, no, no. He's a sweetheart to to us. It's just funny because he's just super cute and sweet and meow and all over the place. And then we'll go out of the backyard. We're like, oh my gosh,
What did you kill today?
holy crap. It's been bad. Like I've gone back there and I'm like, you kids have gone out and played and they have not told me that there's probably 6 dead birds in the backyard. In our backyard's not that. Joe
And
Mama says cool.
yeah, I was going to say, anybody that's just joining up, Desmond Hall says, just kidding. I'm not sure what they're kidding about, but
Okay. Duly noted.
duly noted. Apology accepted, I guess.
Since we were not offended to begin with. So you saw the old Dune movie and were a fan?
Oh yeah, that was very epic. I'll
Yeah.
I'll be going to see it one more time while it's in the theaters.
There you go.
It, some parts with just the sound and like the vibration rocking the chairs. I'm like, this is so great. It's one of those awesome things. Like you got to see some movies best in theaters, and that's definitely one of them.
That's true. That's true. Gotta get the old surround sound for your place.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I mean, I've got a decent sound system here, but nothing compares to the movie theater stuff.
I have a hella expensive sound bar, and it's not old, and the damn thing disconnects from my TV all of the time. I don't know why.
What brand is it?
Samsung, I believe.
Yeah.
Which I have a Samsung TV and I hate that TV, so
So do I, but I like mine.
mine's just mine struggles with the internet connection a lot. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here.
We used to have our struggle with our internet connection, but I think it was just the slow internet service that we had. So we got a different one and kind of seemed to solve that problem. At least it seemed to.
Oh, that's nice.
Worked out.
I live with an incredibly snooty gamer, and we have really good fast internet. So with great connectivity on everything but the TV.
Right. Oh, that would piss me off.
So and I have another Samsung TV because I have two. I have an 85-inch and I have a 65-inch. The 65-inch has great picture and it connects beautifully, no issues. This one, for whatever reason, the 85 just sucks for that.
85-inch TV. I thought mine was big.
What are we talking about here?
Right. Right. But
No, if you remember, I bought this 85 one because I found out I was pregnant with my 2-year-old at the time. And I was like, I'm gonna be watching a lot of TV, so I want a big ass TV I can just lay down and watch.
that sounds like a good reason
That's what I thought.
to be like, you know what? We need a giant TV that takes up half the wall. There's no such thing as too big.
I know. If I could make it the whole wall, I
Right.
would.
Right. You're like, I would totally do that.
Nothing like watching movies on a big ass TV. A lot of people like projectors, though.
Yeah, I haven't really experienced that, but I'm not. I mean, I've seen a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need that.
Yes, yeah, I've never been big into them either, but a lot of people like swear by them. Absolutely.
Not a lot of regulars in the chat yet. Of course, again, it's super late.
Yeah, that is what she said. The man in green says, "Say era,
Yeah,
ara,
I'm
era."
not playing no silly games. I'm not your monkey.
Wow. Donate and maybe we'll be your monkeys.
There we go. Yeah,
I
right. I like the way you think.
mean, I can be a monkey if I got.
Yeah, you don't want to know what I do for the right dollar amount, right?
We've had this discussion. Although we are gonna ask some questions on Monday
Yep.
with you, and I got some spicy ones
Yeah,
set
that's
up.
what you were saying. I was like, I wonder what that means. There's been a couple questions dropped on, I think, Instagram and then some on YouTube, um,
Really?
and and my Facebook. I'll have to screenshot them and send them your way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
Um,
didn't see.
one of them was like, if you were, it was like a variation on the if you were trapped on an island, what would you want to have? But it's like, if aliens were coming to abduct you and take you away to an alien world, what 5 comics would you want to take with you? And
No shit. That was one of my questions. I was say if you had to read one comic book for the rest of your life. Well, that's actually funny. That was
but
really.
is it like one series or one
Uh, I
single
would
issue?
say I had it kind of in two parts, a series, and then if you could pick one comic book cover that would be the only one you could ever look at, which cover did you think was the best?
Something with Adam Hughes with hot girls, so I have something to occupy my mind with, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh gosh.
No, no way, gross.
I mean, did I say that out loud?
Right?
Uh, in Draven, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Cool art. Glad I caught this live stream. If I could make a suggestion, mount your cameras to something besides your drawing tables to eliminate all the bouncing. That's probably me.
No, it's me too, but I don't have anything nearby to mount it to. My little thing,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
I know.
stretch far enough.
I've seen I've made that connection with my own problems. Yeah, you're right. There is a lot of bouncing. Um Unfortunately, I'm kind of the same way as him because of how long the arm is. It's not quite long enough to mount to anything else. Might be able to somehow figure out how to mount it to the wall. Haven't really gotten to that point yet. Plus, I rent. Got to be careful about that.
Right? Can't start drilling holes in too many walls.
But
I
yeah,
literally need this thing to be twice as long as it is to connect it to the nearest thing.
yeah, no kidding. It's just it's a little bit short for sure. But yeah,
She said,
Nathan Judd. Hey guys, it's okay. Hey. What time is it in Australia, Nathan? Oh my goodness. Do we get some of the greatest comments
we
on
get some weird ones on these late night ones, and that's all right. Up until they get to be like offensive or um like distracting, I'm okay with weird comments.
I'm okay with
All right. But yeah, it's just barely after 10 here for us. Did you get a lot of snow your way today?
me. Yeah, we got some. I mean, it wasn't I don't think it's quite what you guys got up there, but
Yeah, it really, out of the blue, just started dumping.
I knew it was going to because I'd seen the weather because I needed to go up to Logan to get my piercing done. That's where I'm getting it done at. I had planned to go today originally, and I thought, ugh, I'm not going to be able to do that.
F that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you open the door and you see all that weather. You're like, you know what? That's a giant no. I did go out right before. We went out. I took my boys out just when it barely started snowing, but it wasn't sticking yet. And we went to the art supply store and I got some new papers and pens and pencils, all that fun stuff. And then we got back before it really got bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. You guys were able to go do that still, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
That's
trying to
fun.
get the boys out of the house.
Yeah.
I had a little sweet moment with my oldest boy. Like I say, we were watching that War of the Worlds movie, and
Hmm.
yeah, and you've seen it, but there was how Tom Cruise has got the kids. He's got a strained relationship with his kids, but he's
Yeah.
just trying to get them and get back to their mom. Just because where else are you going to go? And I told my oldest boy, my Leo, I said, he's doing exactly what your daddy would do. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I said, if something really bad happened, I said, I talked to your mom recently. And I said, if anything really, really bad happens, there's only one thing that matters to me, and it's taking care of my boys. And so, and you most likely will be with your mom. So, when something really, really, really bad happens, if it does, I'm going to show right up at your mom's house to help take care of you. And he like put his arm around me and was like, "Thanks, Daddy. I love you."
Wow. You always have really sweet moments with your kids.
Do you not?
I feel like I'm doing something wrong when you talk. I'm like, why do my kids never say, I love you, mom, put their arms around me? They're the same age, too.
Yeah.
Your kids and my kids are like the same age, and my kids are like, you know, can I go watch Preston on YouTube?
Nathan Judd says your characters are distracting, Rob. My characters? What do you mean? Explain.
Explain yourself.
Now I'm hyper like conscious about shaking phone wobbly. I'm like trying to like balance it so it doesn't.
Yeah, I know. I actually was thinking about this the other day. I need to figure out a way because I'm close enough to a wall ahead of me. I might be able to mount it to the wall, but then I couldn't really move it as much either. I don't know. I've got a little table here that I might be able to, but I still don't think it's long enough. Whitney, so I am drawing a wyvern skeleton, which
What's the difference? I don't know. I'm being completely serious. Like, what's between a dragon?
so a wyvern, see how the arms are connected to the wings as such, like what I'm drawing? Can you see that?
I can.
Okay. Uh, and then so that's a wyvern. A dragon would have wings, but then have separate legs down here as well that are not connected to the wings.
So what
So
you're
they're
saying is they're all dragons.
Robert, that is not what I'm saying.
The disgust in your voice was just so like.
I mean, that's my understanding of it, I guess. And to be fair, I'm not like an expert in this type of lore, but that is my
Is
understanding.
it a giant lizard that eats people?
It is, I suppose,
Uh,
of some nature, a giant lizard.
that's all I'm saying.
You're no fun.
Clock with the Glock says, "Hi, remember me?" and "Hi, lady with the blue pencil."
Clock with the Glock. Are you the one that asked me to draw this? Because I can't remember.
Like somebody did. I don't know.
I can't remember. Sorry, my voice cracked real bad there. I don't know what's going on there. But if you are, then I kind of, yes, I do kind of remember you because I remember to do this. Oh, it's me. It's Muffin Man. Why'd you change your name for? What is going on there? Okay, let's see here. I don't know if this is even. What are you doing over there? You're going to wake up Whitney.
Whatever. She's supposed to be at work and she's not. So
Oh, she's playing hooky.
she's a slacker.
I thought you were going to call her a slut.
Wow.
Well, you started with the.
And that's your default position of where I'd go with that. That's messed
I
up.
don't know. Whitney,
Larry.
am I wrong? Is that a crazy thing to think that
Yeah,
you might go to that length? I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know.
Whitney, are you a slut?
That's not what I was asking. I was
That's
asking,
100% what that just sounded like.
is that something that Rob would say? Don't you be twisting my words.
I ain't twisting nothing. But bump.
Let's see.
She says I have called her that plenty of times.
Whoa,
That, that's
whoa,
bullshit.
whoa. Oh my
That
gosh.
bullshit.
The truth has come out.
Or just the straight lies to make me look like a chuckling.
Mm, this
Wow.
seems real to me. I don't know. Feels real. Wow. So I wasn't that far fetched. Do
I
I know you or do I know you? You know?
got thrown right under the bus. Just got ran right over.
That is great. I'm really glad that she piped in. And work got canceled because of the power going out. I go to work when I'm supposed to. So you also tried to make it sound like she was lazy. Wow.
So who's the jerk here?
I feel like you owe her like a steak dinner or something. I don't know. And I know you're good at making those. So
I cook steak all the time, actually. So
I know. I actually was going to say that. Like, which I'm sure, happens on a. I'm not going to have space for this guy's legs. That's sad news.
that's what you get for not planning.
Wow. Okay, you didn't even know what I was drawing,
I
so
don't. I have no idea.
I'm going. If I'm being honest, I have 100 milli in GTA Online. I have my ways. Okay.
I'm trying to make the connection. I have like 6 million on GTA Online, so I'm a poor guy.
I don't have any mil on old GTA. Haven't played that since, I was immature and a kid.
Wow. I was about to be awesome if you fired up your account. We played on rare occasions, but now I don't want to.
No, I just play that all the time. I had a PSP, and the only thing I had on that thing, and I just took it on plane trips back and forth from Indiana. When he says difference between dragons and wyverns, dragons have 4 legs and wyverns have 2. She knew. That's awesome. I used to take it, yeah, my PSP on a plane rides back to Indiana. I visit my family, and all I had was the Sin City movie and GTA on it, and so I'd just play that or watch the movie. Many, many years ago.
Well, that is a good movie.
It is. It's a great movie.
There's a lot of boobies in that show.
Oh, geez. I was going to say it was just well done. Very unique.
And I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm also saying
Lots of boobies. Okay. Fair enough.
I got my standards for what makes a good movie.
A old clock with the Glock says to add them on GTA there.
I wrote down your handle, so if I remember next time, I'll try and search that up.
There you go. Do we have any pets?
You've got murder mittens.
Oh yeah, you missed it. We were just talking actually. Old. I'm gonna call you Glock here for short. Glock. Um, I have a murderous cat. His name is Scarecrow, and he likes to leave dead birds and mice and rats and snakes in my backyard. Um, and then I have a really dumb dog named Oscar. He's a Maltese Shih Tzu mix. We call him a shitty malt. He
Wow.
looks like a mop, and
Wow.
he is doesn't listen to a word we say. So those are my pets. My beloved children. Fur babies, if you will.
Wow. I
What
do
you
not have any pets.
you used to have cats though.
When I was with the ex-wife,
That's true.
but never on my own because I don't have any way to care for them. So
Have you read Fourth Wing, Jess? Winnie, I have not, but I have heard of that one. I'm assuming you're asking because you like it. I'm the worst. I am stuck on the same series that I have been stuck on for about 2 years now. I am still reading the A Court of Thorns and Roses books, which is essentially fae porn.
wait a minute, and you just made fun of me
About what?
about like movies with boobies in it.
Oh, well, that's different because I'm a girl.
Oh,
You're allowed. The girls are allowed to do these things and not be ridiculed. I mean, come on.
all right.
What world do we live in
I
here?
stand corrected.
And I was mostly teasing you. Mostly.
Mostly like 80% teasing, 20%, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, you know. But that's the one I've been stuck on forever. I have a deformed pet goose. You might have brought this up before. Why does this sound familiar? I kind of feel like that was mentioned before. Well, I hope you love your goose, even with its deformities. When he says it has wyvern and dragons in it. I might have to check it out. I do. I need to do more reading. Maybe I should ask people on here for a list of good books that I can get into this summer, spring, summer.
50 Shades of Grey.
Maybe not that one. I've never read it, but I've heard it's good. I guess.
Guess it depends on what kind of depraved shit you're into.
Now, is it depraved or is it just a kink?
Isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, it's fair. People who are depraved do have more fun.
Fair.
To be fair. Oh yeah, and I was gonna say Whitney said she loves I can never, my sister-in-law always calls it Akatar, I guess, which is the Court of Thorns and Roses series shortened. Yeah, I mean it's good. I will say I'm stuck on the last book of that series that's out so far. Um it's through Nesta's eyes, and I don't know, Whitney, I'm struggling because I really struggle with her, so I don't know why I'm struggling to get through this one. Nathan says, now that's confidence. What is confidence?
You know, we've covered a lot of subjects.
Yeah. I'm like, what is it? Let us know, Nathan, exactly what you're talking about. John says he just subscribed. Thanks, John.
Welcome to the shit show that is us.
You won't be disappointed. Or
Yeah.
maybe you will. I can't say for sure.
You might be extremely disappointed. It's hard to say.
Yeah. We're glad to have you either way.
Right? I'll take you any way I can get you.
Carson Price says, just kidding. What are you just kidding about? Are you the same person that said that earlier? What are you doing to us? I don't understand.
We're losing track.
My mind cannot keep track. Although I feel more alive when we do these Saturday night ones than the Thursday night ones.
You feel more what?
Like I feel more lively.
You do personally?
Yeah.
Oh, why is that, you think?
I think I'm a night person, and that's probably why.
I 100% know that I am.
Yeah, that's fair. You are. You've said that before.
Right.
Said that before. What plans you got this weekend? Anything? I guess tomorrow. I guess it's the end of the weekend.
Nothing. Nothing fun. Just got the boys here. Do some laundry. Hang out. Draw. Do some videos for the channel for the weekend or the Monday, like we were talking about.
All right.
I recorded today a breakdown of book 5 of my own stuff. The
Oh.
one where you have a chapter in it.
Oh, nice. Yes, yes. I do indeed. The one that John said doesn't belong.
What?
The one that didn't you say that John said it doesn't belong in there?
He said it felt like a little bit out of it, interrupted the flow in his mind. And I said, you interrupt the flow of life. And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I know.
Damn, is this a word for word conversation? You actually told your brother that, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not that surprising, I guess. I totally see it. Read the comment before just kidding. There's not one. Not from you, anyway, that I can see. A wyvern? Is that okay? Again, we had this conversation because I used to call it a wyvern, but then someone corrected me. So now I've been calling it a wyvern. So now I'm totally confused.
You should just call it whatever you want.
I'm gonna call it my beautiful damn skeleton drawing.
I like it.
Thank you, Rob.
Whitney says, Jess, I too have been struggling to get through A Court of Silver Flame, so I get it.
Thank you. I don't know why. It's just to kind of explain here to Rob, the series goes, there's book one, two, three, and then there's like a little novella. And the books one, two, and three are all through the eyes of of a particular character. And you really like her. She's really awesome. And then the novella, I believe, is kind of a really short one, but it goes back and forth a little bit. But then the next book, it is through her sister's eyes. And this girl's just a bitch. She's been a bitch the whole series. Okay. I mean, she has her cool moments, but they did it through her perspective. And I mean, she's not a bitch through her own perspective either. So I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult.
That's a bitch.
She is. Oh gosh, I just can't. When I realized it was through her perspective, I just almost cried. I was like, no, is this really how it's going to go? So yeah, I mean, I don't know if you agree with me, Whitney, but I just really can't. At first I thought I'm gonna give her a shot, maybe they'll make her like into a different, a different perspective, seeing it from her side, and you'll feel for her a little bit. Nope, I don't feel that way. At least not yet. To be fair, I haven't gone through the book, but um Glock says, I called horse with wings. Thank you. That's a good name for it. Horse with wings. I gotta go. Oh, Mr. Price, what you do in your own home is you can do that live stream if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll just, you know, no.
Oh boy. I'm gonna go ahead and draw this out. So kinda, I don't know if this anatomy is really looking, but if it's not a real creature, can you really get the anatomy wrong?
All right, see, there you go. It's 100% right all the time.
It's true. Thanks, Rob.
I got your back.
I do. I appreciate that.
All
You pretty happy with these pages? So how far would you say you are into the book now?
right. Everyone asks me that, and I don't know. I want to say a third.
I think you said that last time.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's because I don't plan them out to the exacting degree, especially this last one, because so much of the story
Mhm.
changed. So, it's kind of like I know what I'm going to do, but I don't have the pages planned out point by point. I just kind of let the story take me where it needs to go and take as many pages as it needs to a point.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I'm not sure. I mean, I know how many, I don't know off the top of my head, but I could count how many pages I have done. I'm going to say 40 or so, but how many more until I'm done?
Not so sure.
50, 60 pages maybe.
That's that's a decent sized book.
Oh, it's huge. Most comics are like 20 pages.
Yeah.
I'm like
I
doing
don't
all,
know much about comics. I do know that.
yeah. But like I was actually talking about this on the video I filmed today. I did it in two parts for book five because it's pretty big. It's
Mhm.
117 pages of story. But I was talking about some people telling me, like, why do you make these so big? Why don't you do a smaller comic? You can not have to spend so much time drawing so much. I'm like, I don't want to put out a comic that's only 20 pages. because I know people that do that and only put out one a year. Well, I put out one book a year. It's 80 pages minimum. So I want people to feel like they get, like, it's worth the wait. They get a substantial amount of story. That's
Right.
kind of important to me because that's what I would want.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty cool.
So I want to give people as much bang for their buck, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
That's my logic.
Love it. Yeah, they're nice, thick books, that's for sure. When he says, "I agree," agreed. I mean, I've grown to kind of appreciate her a little, but still would have rather had Elaine's point of view. Elaine is her other sister, this character, and she's a little more likable. Plus, she feels like she has more to tell, I think. So it's interesting to me that the author, Sarah J. Maas, that she chose this particular uh, way to go about it. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Nathan says, "What? I'm doing it 22 pages, and that's daunting." Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, never even
Nathan
tried.
Judd, this is book 5 right here. This is how big it is. All me. It's like I was saying, 117 pages of story and art, and then there's some pinups and stuff in the back. But like I said, when people get my stuff, I want them to feel like they get something worthwhile. Trying to find where the hell. Oh yeah, if somebody wants to pick up my current stack of fan comics, you get 5 books, and you get this much. This is all 5 of them right there.
I'm on my way.
Wait, what?
Because you said if someone wants to pick them up.
All right, come get them. Yeah, book
I
1,
already have them.
book 2, got volume 3, volume 4, and then 5, and I'm pounding away on 6, and it's going to be another 120 pages at least. So, like I said, I'm about 40-ish into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm trying to make it worthwhile. I'm trying to make it stand out. I'm trying to make, like I know I'm just repeating myself, but I'm trying to make the work that I produce for people that are picking it up something that they are like, it's worth it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You do a bang up job.
Bang away.
Mm-hmm. Keep banging.
Hell yeah.
Hello, Mr. D Man. Yo, yo. He's here to take care of some things. Oh my goodness.
Oh no, a baby.
She's not happy right now. She's like, "Mom, what are you doing? Why are
Right,
you not paying attention to me?"
right.
Hmm? Is that it? Is that the problem?
She's like, you know what the problem is.
She's like, "Why are you even asking a stupid question?"
Stupid questions, Mom.
Shh. All right. Calm your butt down. Shh. Sorry, folks. She's just a little bit cranky right
It's a baby. It's okay. There's no negative vibes for babies over here.
now. Mr. D-Man says, "Where's Chuck?"
Chuck ain't up this late. Chuck gets up at 2 in the morning or some shit. I think he said like 3 is like his get up time. 3 in the morning, and he's in New Mexico, so I think he's only maybe an hour off of us at most. So I'm sure he's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of on an opposite schedule. It seems like most artists want to be like night owls. I know I am, but feels like he's got himself where he's like, I'm gonna get up in the morning because that works for me, and that's when everyone else would leave me the hell alone.
That's fair though.
Oh yeah, totally.
I could see that being a situation to me too. Like oh my goodness, child. I prefer to draw at night as well, or whenever the fam is asleep.
Yeah, you get your time.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what it amounts to. It's like, all right, this is my turn. Everyone, shut up and leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta take the baby. That's one thing, but
Yeah, and usually she'll sleep. She's struggled the last couple of days. I don't know. Not really sure why, but she has.
Nathan Judd says he's a night owl there too. Yeah, that's me. What sucks is I've got a job that I have to be up at 5 in the morning for, so it's a struggle to get my ass to bed and then get up early. It's
You should just be an artist full time.
I should. Oh my god, that is the greatest solution. Why did I not think of that?
I don't know. You can thank me for it later. You
When
know.
I'm very wealthy with my art money that starts coming in.
Yep.
All right.
Be like, thank you so much for that badass idea. I'm like, I
Right.
know.
Now that I'm rich from my art, let me pay off your house for you.
Oh, that's so great. Even though I live in a rental,
Let's go buy
you
you
can
a house because I'm a
buy a
millionaire,
house. Yeah,
right?
you could buy me a house. I would definitely take that.
You're like, I would let you do that, Rob.
I think I deserve that. I think I've been a pretty good friend for a long time, you know? I think I can say,
Have you though?
okay. Have not?
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
you're like, you know
He's
what? I'm out of here.
he's like, there's probably other people who I'd probably buy a house for first.
You know what? Honestly, you'd be on the top, like amongst the top of the list. If I won, like, hey, you won the lottery, you get a $200 million payout.
I'd buy you a house too.
I'd hook you up.
I really have thought of this. I'm like, I would just pay off some of my family's mortgages that they have, and then I would just buy family and friends who I feel like deserve it. Just buy them a house.
There you go. Of course, considering the prices of houses, you could blow through millions of dollars real fast for, you know.
Well, that's true. I mean, they probably wouldn't be, mansions. And, you know, we do live in one of the most ridiculously priced states,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but I would still do it.
I would actually love to be able to do that. I remember there's been some lotteries out there where someone was going to get like a $500 million payout. So I start thinking about what would I do?
Hmm.
I'm like, well, there's certain people I'd hook right up and take care of. Other people I'd point and laugh at them. I'm like, you should have been nicer to me.
I would have those people too.
Right. Right. It's like
When
I'm taking care of all these other people, but no, fuck you. Go back to your job.
you should have been nicer. Remember this next time.
Right.
Whitney says, "Wow, dot dot dot." I don't know if she's saying because you didn't mention her that you buy her house, but that is a little bit rude.
That is a little bit rude. If I could be honest with you.
You know, she's clearly up here late at night supporting your art and stuff,
Right.
not just because she didn't have to go into work.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Just saying. Mr. Demon says hood mansions. That's what I would buy everybody, a hood mansion.
Guillermo Gutierrez says, tell your girl to cut her nails.
Are you talking about me?
Are you my girl? Do you have bad nails?
Um, honestly, my nails are pretty long. They're pretty wicked.
But do they really require to like to be cut?
No, they're not that long. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say that. Whitney says no. Know about you only being sort of a good friend.
Yeah,
Oh,
right. I'm a
yeah,
dick.
that's okay. That's all right. You know, what's that? What is that saying? My husband, my sister-in-law always were saying it's from some movie. He siphons my gas, I siphon his gas.
What
It's
the
all
fuck?
good fun. I don't know what it's from, but they always say it. But yeah, Rob, how could you say that? Only sort of a good friend.
I guess it depends on how I feel when I'm a millionaire and I'm like, I don't have to treat anybody no damn way. So,
Dude, that's true.
how do I really feel about certain people?
Money changes people.
I bet.
That's why I don't have any. I don't want to be changed.
I 100% want to be changed.
Yeah, me too. It was just a good excuse.
Yeah, that's why I'm not rich.
You know, that's all. Mhm. Excited about our Monday
I
trip.
am actually. Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that.
I think it should be fun.
We're just gonna do. I just make sure we're on the same page where we're just seeing each other, like not drawing, but right.
Yeah, that.
That's what I was getting at. I think it'd be fun. It's just fun to just be able to sit and chat and you know that'll be a fun one.
Agreed.
You can set me up with ridiculous questions and roast the shit out of me.
Oh my goodness, we should have done a roast.
Am I right?
Like
Everyone roast Rob.
like on The Office, like that type of roast though. I love that show.
I need to. I want to watch it again.
I know I've seen it so many times, but every time it just gets better somehow.
I've only ever watched it all the way through the once, and
Oh
then,
my gosh, really?
but then I would rewatch it and then get a couple seasons into it, and then something would distract me, and I get kind of trailed off. But honestly, the first couple seasons are the best.
Oh yeah.
Um, I feel like there's a couple moments where it kind of fell off for me. It was the inclusion of, is it Andy? I forget, the
Yeah.
obnoxious guy that likes to sing all the time.
Yeah, that's Andy.
The character bugs the shit out of me. Now, there's moments where he's good, but before he showed up, um, I felt like it was perfect, like perfectly balanced. And then he was kind of okay as like a one-off, but once they kept him, I'm like, this guy bugs. Even my ex-wife was like, I like this show, but I can't stand that guy.
See, that's old Ed Helms.
I know, and I mean, okay, I don't know.
He's the old Hangover.
That's the first place I ever saw him, and I thought he was great.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get what you're saying though. He doesn't really bother me in the fact that I feel like he's supposed to be annoying, so I feel okay being annoyed by him if that makes any sense at all.
No, I 100% agree. Like he's supposed to be that way, but sometimes it's a little much. But
Yeah.
I mean, like Michael Scott's supposed to be obnoxious, but he's got heart, and you kind of like him, even though he's insufferable
Yeah,
sometimes.
true. That's true. That's true. And you never really get that way, even though Andy like becomes like the office manager and stuff.
For like, yeah, a minute. And I also feel like a mistake that they made is I actually really liked the character of Jan. Um, that like the district manager girl that
Mhm.
you know I liked her when they first introduced her because she was like this very stressed, overworked, frazzled lady trying to deal with this goofball Michael Scott that really pushed her limits. But then there were moments where he was legitimately did good, and she was like actually like liked him and kind of saw his value. But then once
Yeah.
they turned her into a psychotic weirdo, I felt like they did it for the humor, but I liked her better as like this poor, overworked, stressed woman.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I kind of agree with you on that one. However, I mean, the dinner party is one of my favorite episodes, and so I guess also I like her as the. Too bad they couldn't have somehow had both, like had her being a separate person, like a separate person to play that role. Uh, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I liked her because she's pretty and she was funny, and she played that like stressed out manager role so well. And she was smart and she was good, but then they turned her into a lunatic. And I was like,
Seriously.
it's another one of those like I don't agree, but I get what they were doing.
Yeah, mistakes were made. A
Yeah,
few, not very many, but a few.
yeah. Let's see. Endraven says, after seeing your video about the Nick Manabat Artifact Edition, I've noticed different versions online, two using the same illustration as your copy and a variant cover. Any ideas? Did the limited print run have alternate covers? So, as I understand it, Mr. Endraven, I guess now that I did a little looking into it, the print run that I got, I think I don't know that they've printed it before, and I think I read from the people who made it they printed it twice before, and I think one of them at least was a smaller, like standard comic book sized one. Um, I think, but they did a limited run, and then they decided to like crowd fund it for people who wanted to get a copy. And as far as I know, this most recent one, which I read, they said it's the last time they're ever doing it, and they've only ever done the one cover that I've ever seen. So it has been printed before. I think they just kind of did it on their own and then found a like an audience for it, and so then they offered it up this one time that I got. I hope that answers your question. I kind of don't know for sure, but as far
Interesting.
as as far as I know, the one that I got, it only had the one cover because that's all I've ever seen.
He said it does things.
Yeah, like I said, I had a guy hitting me up wanting to trade multiple things to get his hands on my copy. I'm like, I just got it. I'm not ready to part with it. So,
That's fair though.
but they offered a very generous offer. Like, they were very generous. What they were willing to trade, like four things, three or four things I can't remember in exchange for the one.
Wow.
Things that are equal to what I paid for the one that I got. I paid $100 for my book, and the ones that he was offering were like $100 at least minimum anyway.
Oh wow.
So it was a very generous offer, but I'm like, I just got it. I'm not ready to
Heart.
part with it. So
Very interesting.
uh, but I know what it's like because I've ran into a lot of people that like if I knew this was going, I totally would have bought one. But the people who made it can only get the word out there. It's on Facebook, and they're like, "Hey, tell your friends, we're making this. If you want it,
Which book was this?
it's this."
Oh, I know which one it is now.
The video I did just a couple days ago. This
Yeah, the bat.
Manabat was his name.
Yeah, Manabat. Yeah,
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 which is a pretty badass last name to have, honestly.
yeah.
He needs to have like if he would have lived, he would have eventually had to get onto a Batman book. Batman drawn by Nick Manabat. Like, oh, that's the best possible outcome. But yeah, the dude died at like 23 years old from, I think I looked it up, it was leukemia.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
And that's really sad. It's not that it's not sad when anybody passes away, but when someone with such talent passes and so young, all the
Yeah.
things they would have done.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I keep thinking about. A lot of people that have commented on that video, they're like, Can you imagine, like, if this is what he was doing at 23, what could he have done given the opportunity to grow and make some really amazing stuff?" And Chuck knew him. Like, they worked together.
Oh, lymphoma.
Uh,
Uh, Whitney says
oh, yeah.
Chuck,
Whitney looked it up and she.
Chuck and him live together.
No, they worked in the same studio.
Oh, I thought you said live together. I was
No,
like, wait, what?
he knew him. They worked together. And he did say that he was kind of quiet and hard to kind of get to know. He just kind of kept to himself, but was a nice guy. But
Oh,
he's kind of a quiet guy. And
well, that's cool.
but Chuck also did say he thinks personally that Hollywood would have scooped him up as like a I don't know, a conceptual artist or something like that. He's like he might have moved away from comics because you only really stay in comics because you love to do it. It's either you have a hard time making a living at it, or you've been
Mm.
lucky enough to you make a lot of money at it. You get like one of those big sellers, and then it's a perennial seller, meaning it's in print all the time, and you get money from that work all the time, and then you can be very wealthy. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's hard to make a living doing comic books, honestly. So if you keep doing comics when you're really talented, you do it because you love it,
Yeah.
as opposed to like I need to make money and I can use my art, so they'll go into advertising or storyboarding or commercial art or something.
Yeah. That makes sense. And Chuck doesn't think that he really like particularly liked doing comic books.
Well, he didn't say that. He just said he thinks Hollywood probably would have grabbed him, and whatever that may mean.
All right.
Um,
Interesting. Very interesting.
Block says, "Are you upright on PS?" What does that even mean? Upright on PS. I don't know what that means, sir.
Mr. D-Man says, "Yo, I'm watching this goofy Stargirl show."
D man, why are you even watching that crap? You hate all that shit, man.
Stargirl, what is that?
If it's what I think it is.
What do you think it is?
It was some DC Comics crappy TV show, but I might be thinking of might be something else. I'm sure he'll let us know.
Probably. Good point.
It's kind of a quiet Saturday night,
Yeah, it is.
which is fine. I don't mind that at all. For me, I mean, honestly, it's more about just getting to sit down and draw and sit here and bullshit with you, honestly,
Oh,
as
thanks.
far as like the main thing. But then engaging in conversation with, people who are interested in asking interesting stuff, not being weirdos. That's the other fun part.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always fun, I think. Mr. Man says it was on the CW. Oh goodness, before they went bankrupt. Laughing emoji. That's never.
Yeah, it was one of those crappy DC comic shows that just looked terrible. I'm like, yeah, I ain't watching any of that crap.
What was that one that my dad and I used to watch? It was the Superman one. It was like the origin of him when he was a teenager. He was on the CW.
Smallville.
Smallville. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. I
I did.
watched it for the first several seasons, but then it got so repetitive.
Oh no, Rob, Mr. D man. Speaking of crap, everybody on YouTube is raving about Doom Part 2.
Dude, D man, I'm gonna block you, brother. That's a great movie. I'm just kidding. Um, but
Not about the
Chuck saw my I put it on Instagram, and he's like, I hated the first movie so bad you couldn't put a gun to my head and make me go see it.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't like the first one, so he's like, I ain't going to see the second one. I'm like, well, I mean, I get it, but I'm big into sci-fi, and I like seeing a serious science fiction show that's different than Star Wars crap or the Marvel crap. And then he actually said, he's like, well, the fact that you like it's got me wondering, like maybe they're onto something. And I'm like, well, I just kind of like this stuff, but if you didn't like the first one, you're not gonna like the second one.
So here's my thing. I liked the first one. I definitely did not like it as much as you did. I did find some parts of it a little slow going, but I would definitely go see the second one. Like I
Yeah,
liked it enough. But I did think it was a little slow the first one. Like I struggled to get through it in one go. But then once it got going, it was good. It was very long.
yeah. Well, see, but that's what I like. It's too many modern day movies have. Um, it's like it has to be like exploding, exploding, and people yelling and joking and talking and giggling and being silly and funny and go, 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 energy, energy, energy. And I like something that stops and slows down and
Yeah,
lets
that's
you
true.
live with the characters for a minute, and you understand that they're looking at a very big serious situation and they're pondering what the future holds and the weight of the situation you're allowed to sit with for a minute before another thing explodes. And
Yeah,
that's what I liked. So when the explosions come, they're meaningful.
that's fair. I
That being
mean,
said, if it still felt slow to you, like I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm just like that's what I liked about it, is that it took its time to let us build things up.
it did. And I will probably end up seeing it next weekend because my daughter, she loved the first one. I think I watched it twice with her.
Yeah.
I mean, she just loved it, and she's like, "Can you please take me to see this the next one?" I
Yeah.
was like, "Sure, let's make it happen, Catherine."
I feel like it because I was so excited for it. I've been waiting for it for so long. Um, I felt a little bit because I don't know. I was just kind of excited to jump back into the adventure, but it did slow down, and because you have to live with the character, because you remember how the first one ended. He's joining the desert folk, right?
Yeah,
So spends a lot of time with him becoming part of that group and earning their trust, and it's building up who he is and what he's supposed to be doing before they get to the explosions at the end. So I don't want to say it felt slow, but it was a little slower to start than I was expecting, but I was never bored.
hmm. I mean, I will still watch it regardless. I mean, but I will try any movie for the most part. There's very few that I will not just go see, even if it's. I am not one of those people that if somebody I hear a lot of people saying they didn't like it, that I think I won't like it because there's plenty of movies that I think are great that critics and the majority of people don't like. So
Yeah.
I will just check it out anyways. Um, Mr. Dimas says, I only like the 84 Dune in the Ministry
Mini.
mini series from the little, sorry, it's a little bit late. That was on the Sci-Fi channel. Um, so interesting. I had this conversation with my father-in-law, and maybe Rob, you can tell me because I've never seen the one from the 84.
Yeah.
He said he thought they tried to fit the whole thing in, and I don't know. I guess this was a book or a.
It's a huge book from like the 60s or some shit like that. I know.
And he said they tried to fit the whole movie or the whole series into the one movie, and he said it was just a clusterfuck. But I mean, not. I mean, again, I haven't seen it. so that was why he didn't like it. But I have heard a lot of people say they actually preferred it being like that. So
I mean, they did try to cram the entire first book into one movie, so a lot of stuff is chopped down, left out, or skipped by. There are things about it. I do like the original, but it's weird. It's very weird, and I liked it because it was weird. And this new one foregoes weird in favor of taking it seriously and making a quality sci-fi movie that doesn't pander to anybody. It doesn't try to talk down to you. It's just adapts the material about as faithfully as you could, and it's all there.
yeah,
So yeah, the first one, like I like it, but it is really strange. And if I've never read the books, I'm just aware of the story on like a general level. But um, they cut so much out and shortened so many things. It is I for anyone I'm sure who was like a big fan of the book, we're probably like, what in the fuck is this? So
I'm sure my father-in-law
yeah,
was.
splitting it into two movies was absolutely the thing to do to give it time to tell the story appropriately.
Yeah, and Mike, he's usually someone who thinks anything from the '80s was better than anything made today. Like he is 100%. So I was a little bit surprised,
Yeah.
but
Um, Mark Riddell says, good evening. And he says, I have not seen Ant-Man 3 to this day. I have seen, I think, the first third of Ant-Man 3 and just shut it off and never felt compelled to go back and watch it.
I've never seen it. I never saw the second Ant-Man.
It was okay.
I'm the worst when it comes to those movies. I kind of got burnt out really easily.
Yeah. First one was good. Second one was okay. Third one is like it was one of the biggest bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, D man, I can't agree with you, brother. I love these Dune movies. It's also one of those movies. There's movies that come out where I'm like, even if I don't like it, if I can tell that the director and the creative team made an earnest effort to make a quality show outside of the sludge crap that's out there for so many others, I can like at least respect it for that. And I feel like that's what they did on this one. Like they really were wanted to make a good movie that was done the right way.
Hmm. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'll have to see it. I know Whitney says, "Well, Rob wants to see it again. You two should go watch it." I mean, I don't know if Rob wants to go watch a movie with me, but I did promise my daughter I would go with her. But maybe we should go together after if I really like it.
Yeah. Bring that back up when you come back, and you might be like, I am never going to go back and see that movie again. So, fuck you, Rob.
Rob, what were you thinking? No, I'm just kidding.
Right? You like that shit?
I mean, how long is this one? Is it like similar to the other one?
It's 2 hours something. Yeah.
I want to say the other one was nearly pretty much 3 hours, if I remember
It
right.
was not 3 hours.
It definitely felt like it at times. But no, I didn't. I will say one thing I loved about it was the score was beautiful.
Oh man, I listen to that all the time. I
Yeah,
listen.
the music. I mean, and no one can complain about that. Not even you, Mr. D Man. The music was beautiful in that movie. That is one thing I will say. I mean, I guess you could complain about it. Everybody's allowed to their own opinion, but um, Rad Young says, "Hey there, gang. Hey, Rad. Got some regulars on now."
Yeah.
Mark Rydell says, "I will be honest. I can respect Blade Runner movies, but not something I'd revisit."
Same here. The first Blade Runner, everyone just raves about it, and I saw it for the first time just a couple years ago. I'm like, I don't get it, but I didn't grow up with it. Maybe that would have affected it. I can see what people liked about it, but I'm like, I don't get it. So maybe if I would have grown up with it, it would be a different story.
I liked the first Blade Runner movie.
And I've heard the second one's kind of mid-range as far as what people like. Yeah, some people loved it, some people thought it was not quite right, but because I have no connection to the first one, I'm not in any rush. So,
It's definitely not one that I mean, I think I've only seen the first one once and the second one maybe once, maybe twice. I don't know.
D-Man says the Lord of the Rings movies I'll watch every blue moon, but fuck the Hobbit. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
The Hobbit movies suck.
They're terrible. There's moments in each one that are really good. I feel like, oh, they're kind of reached the level of the originals in this one scene or that one scene. But I think it was best in the first one, much less in the second, and the third I struggle to remember a good scene in.
Um, and it's hard. I that The Hobbit is actually probably my favorite book of all time.
Yeah.
And so it was hard for me to watch them kind of, I don't know. I have this conversation fairly frequently with some certain family members who really love the Hobbit movie. Again, love the score in the Hobbit movies. And it did have some really great scenes here and there, but it just doesn't come anywhere close to the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah, they lost the magic, and it sucks because it was the same creative team. Um, yeah, yeah, it should have only been two movies. Um, it didn't need to be three because they were very obviously trying to pad it out. They're like,
They
God,
didn't have to. That book is not that long.
that's exactly. And I think the creatives were forced by the studios. Like, no, no, we want a franchise. You need to make three movies. And they're like, this book is only, I don't know, 150 pages long. We can't pad that out. They're like, do it. So, like, okay, we'll do what
Uh,
we can.
yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
So,
there was stuff added that didn't need to be added that I didn't understand, and I probably read the book. I would say 5 times all the way through, and there were things that were left out and things that were downplayed that should have. It was weird what decisions they made that they thought would be the, oh, we should do this, and that would be the right choice. Like I didn't understand that.
yeah.
We didn't need a whole 3 hours of that battle. Like I don't know.
Well, they also lost their mind. Like, it was so much CGI battles and the physics of the world were like this scene everyone should have died, but they're all like bouncing around like it's funny. Like it was not just the extra story elements. It was like it just lost all believability. And I know that's weird to
What
say.
scene are you talking about?
What's that?
What scene exactly are you talking
Well,
about?
like in the first one when they're with the those underground trolls and there's the big bad guy with the big old nutsack for a chin.
And they're all just like, yeah,
And then like they're on like a bridge that collapses and falls and slams down this thing and crashes into a billion things and hits the bottom of the caves into a pile of splinters and they all just pick themselves up like, oh my god, that was rough. You're like, okay.
yeah, that's
Well,
true. I mean, I guess that stuff doesn't bother me too much in fantasy films. I mean, it does make sense what you're saying though, because I mean, it wasn't that way in the Lord of the Rings. That's true. I I don't know. It's true. It wasn't the same. It wasn't quite right. Someone wasn't quite right there.
yeah. Whitney says she only watches The Hobbit for the dragon. The dragon was amazing. That was
My-
really well done.
Yeah, I remember
Maug.
I was 13 years old when I was probably, yeah, 13 years old when I first read the Hobbit book, and I read the Lord of the Rings first, and I read the Hobbit afterwards. And I remember when we got to the scene where Bilbo was talking to Smaug for the first time. It was like, oh, you just felt like you had been in the shit with them getting here. And you were so excited for the scene where there's this dragon, and in the book, he's sleeping on the pile of gold. And
Yeah.
you were just so excited. And I did feel that a little bit in the movie, just not the same. I don't know. It just didn't feel the same.
And because I've never read the books, I don't have, but I get what your point would be. But I thought the scene when he's in that big cavern with Smaug and the gold, and he wakes up, and the voice, I felt like it worked, and that was one of the scenes I felt like it worked. But again, I haven't read the book, so I didn't have like a predetermined
True.
thought.
And you're right. It wasn't like the worst. It definitely wasn't the worst scene. Yes, the barrel scene that doesn't happen in the book.
Yeah, I
And
think as
why
I
the hell
understand
did
it,
we?
it was like they just jump in some barrels and they float out and they're gone, but they turn it into this giant, ridiculous action scene.
And it doesn't make sense why it needs to be that long or anything. Okay, let's say okay, fine. You wanna use that as their escape, whatever. But like you said, why does it need to be this whole action scene? Like, it wasn't entertaining. It was rough.
Yeah,
He says that yeah, the barrel scene is a rough watch. It is.
and there's not one scene in any of the three Lord of the Rings trilogy where I'm like, can I get past this scene, please? It's there's not one.
No, I don't
And
think.
each scene kind of feels like at the beginning where you're just with the hobbits in Hobbiton, and we get to live there for a minute. Like we get to see what their life is like, and you're like, I could live here. It feels like this whole little mini movie of like we're living with the hobbits and seeing how they exist, and this is fun. And then it
Yeah,
goes to the next scene, and then the next one, and I'm like, what a grand adventure! It just worked.
yeah. No, it's good. It moved at a good pace. It really did.
Yeah, to me, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is the greatest movie trilogy ever.
Hmm.
I mean, what would you place above it?
Star Wars.
Really?
I mean, I might just because I love it so much. Not the sequels or the prequels, just the originals.
No, I do. And that's like right there with it. If like Lord of the Rings is 10, I think the Star Wars original trilogy is like 9.8.
Okay, I'll buy that.
I mean,
I
they're
would I would say as far as well done, probably Lord of the Rings. However, a lot of that I feel like also has to do with when it was made for me. Um, but the writing is really good in Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
But they had a beautifully written script to go off of. Whereas Star Wars really wasn't like that. So I mean it's kind of, you know, apples to oranges, I guess.
yeah. I mean, Star Wars, the first one is this iconic, wonderful, perfectly made first film. And then The Empire Strikes Back is the most perfect sequel ever.
Love that movie.
Yeah. Return of the Jedi is like it's like 80% there. But for me, the first Star Wars feels like it's from the late 70s. It feels sort of dated, but not in a way that I'm saying is bad. And to me, Return of the Jedi feels very 80s, but Empire Strikes Back feels timeless.
Yes.
It doesn't feel rooted in an era. And I kind of feel the same way about Aliens from James Cameron. That movie looks as
Mhm.
good and works as well today or as the same as when it was made in like
Oh,
six or whatever.
that's true. You're right. That's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that before. But you are right. They're similar in that way of, it could be made today, either one of them, and I would go see it and not think twice about it. Like, oh, this is looks like something out of, 83. Mark says, I always think of the video game Dragon's Lair, and I feel like the dragon at the end is inspired by The Hobbit. No idea if it's true, but that's what I always felt. Interesting enough, my husband has made that comment. I've never played that game, but my husband has made that comment before. So, hmm. He also says Indiana Jones. That is a good trilogy. It is.
I forgot about that. That is
Love
one
myself.
right
Love
up there. Yeah.
little. Um. Why can't I think tonight? Han Solo. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
What's
Indiana
his name?
Jones.
What's his
Harrison
name?
Ford.
Harrison Ford. Thank you, Harrison Ford. He is a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Back to the Future. That's a good one. I'm not as into Back to. I mean, it is really good. I'm not into those. I really like the first one a lot as much. Toy Story, that's true. That's true. That's a good one. But I don't know if it's on par with those or not.
It's
Or
close.
Toy Story, the first 3 are really good.
Yeah.
Um, Dark Knight trilogy, those are good too.
Yeah, I love those.
Those are all really good.
Yep.
That's the
Agreed.
point. The Man with No Name trilogy,
It's that's a Clint Eastwood uh like Western series. I think
I
some clarify that for me, Rydell, if I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah, either come across very smart or very stupid.
no, I mean, that's probably true. I do not recognize it. I've probably not seen it.
Yeah. I do want to shout out the Indiana Jones because, again, I feel like Raiders, the first one, even though I think it's 1980, but I
Yeah.
feel like that one feels equally timeless to me in a way. Like if you watch it, you can tell by like the clothes and the styling that it's a little bit older, but there's not one scene in that movie that could be changed to be made better. You know, I think it just is flawless. And then I think
Yeah.
the one, the Last Crusade, is just a perfect resolution end to the series. It's a
Mhm.
fantastic movie. It's the only one of those that I saw in the theater on its first run. I did go with my older brother. One time they played all three Indiana Jones movies all together in order. So we were at the theater for like 6, 7 hours. That was fun. So the Indiana Jones series minus the last two bullshit ones.
Yeah, the last 2 ones, the Crystal Skull and the I don't know,
Dial
I didn't
Disintent.
even finish the last one.
Yeah, I got part way into it, kind of like Ant Man. Me and the roommate were watching it, and we're like, I don't fucking care. I remember stopping it. I'm like, how much more is left? And there's like another hour and a half to go. I'm
That
like,
too
fuck,
with my kids,
turned it off. I'm like, I am done.
Although the Crystal Skull does have Shia LaBeouf in it. And
Most people consider that a negative. I kind of like him.
he's a good looking man.
Is he?
I think so.
No, I just didn't know
Him.
that about you.
I also grew up with him in Even Stevens, in Holes, and so to be fair, there's
Yeah.
a connection there. But yeah, as far as the movie went, it wasn't great. Um, let's see here. What have I? Uh, I can't read. Hold on a second. I gotta get closer to my computer here.
Star Wars until George Lucas sold it to Disney.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Jeez. Um, Jeremy says, is it Jeremy? Am I reading that right? 100% agree with those statements. Um, Mark says the swinging with monkeys, lol, moment in part 4 indie. That must be the Chris. I don't even remember that part. I've only seen it maybe once.
That's the thing. He was swinging with monkeys in the Crystal Skull. It was so stupid.
I don't remember that. Again, I only remember Shy LaBeouf in that one. Joshua says, "Well, those look cool. You can draw better than me, both of you." Well, I have not seen your art, but I'm sure you are a great artist. I appreciate the compliment, though. No one mentioned the Matrix trilogy.
I actually really like those. Everyone loves the first one, and everyone kind of dumps on the other two. I'm kind of into them. I mean, I see what people are talking about, where it gets a little weird in parts, but I'm like, I'm into it. I liked it a lot.
Um, yeah, I like the Matrix trilogy. It's they're good movies.
Of course, they pulled, another modern movie making. They're like, we're going to make a sequel, and like decades later, and just that most recent one was horrible.
I'm not gonna lie to you. By the end, I was like, "What the fuck happened in that movie?"
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Well,
honestly, I kept looking to see what time it was. I thought I would. I was watching it with my family, and I kept thinking, "Am I just an idiot, or is this thing jumping all over the place?"
yeah.
I wasn't sure. I could not get into it at all.
And what I don't like in the Matrix, that the whatever the most recent one was, is like stupid Keanu Reeves, who I like a lot, but he had
Mhm,
two movies come out like that are like sequels to old classics. He did a Matrix follow up and a Bill and Ted follow up. And
mm.
in both of those movies, he was, or at least part of, like in the Matrix, he is the one. Well, in the sequel, they kind of like, no, he actually wasn't. And then in Bill and Ted, him and Bill and Ted were like the ones whose music saved the universe. And
Yeah.
they changed it. They're like, no, it wasn't them. It was your daughters. I'm like, why can't the guys who were the hero just stay the heroes?
Yeah, I didn't like that Bill and Ted movie at all.
It was fucking horrible. I saw it once. I'm like, well, there's another one I'll never watch again.
Yeah, no, that was terrible. It's like, I just wish I hadn't seen that.
Yeah. Whitney brings up John Wick.
John Wick is good. You know, I really liked the first one.
Absolutely.
The second, and I haven't even seen the third one. The second one was fine too. I just felt like the first one was really good and maybe they don't need to be more.
They should have stopped, but it was so popular. They're like, oh my God, we got a franchise. Let's keep going. And it became too ridiculous. Like the fight scenes are always exciting, but it got so
It's kinda like what you were saying earlier, where every scene is this dramatic situation and just crazy violent scenes, but the story is kind of not there, and nobody's reflecting on what's happening, and you're not really getting any input from the characters and learning about them. You know how you were talking with Dune?
yeah.
I feel like that's the problem with the second John Wick. I felt it was kind of just this, "Oh, everybody thought he was such a badass. Let's just make a bunch of badass scenes with him."
Yeah, and it got kind of old. Even the roommate, she was like, we watched them, and she was like, "I'm kind of getting burned out on all these action scenes." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." It's like it's too much of a good thing. Like, space
Mhm.
it out, make us care about a few of them rather than having 1,000 going on all the time.
Yep.
So, and I haven't seen the most recent one, um,
Yeah,
uh,
me either.
John Wick 4 or whatever, and I heard everyone say it was great. So I'm like, well, whenever it's available on streaming somewhere, I'll definitely check it out. But I'm not like actively chasing it down.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Demon says it'd be funny if Keanu Reeves did a follow up to Point Break. I love Point Break so much. That's like one
Point
of
Break. Why can't I remember what movie that is? It sounds familiar, but I
it's
can't remember.
with him and Patrick Swayze, and he's an FBI agent
Oh,
infiltrating surfers.
I do remember this one now.
Oh, I love that movie. It's one of my favorites ever.
I think I've only seen that one time, but now that I know it's your favorite movie, maybe I'll watch it again.
Yeah, it's just a perfect little ridiculous action movie. D-Man says the Fast and the Furious franchise is the worst of them all. I have to say, I've seen several, but not all of them. But it seems to me like they're reveling in this insanity. It's like they're acknowledging how stupid this is. And several of them I found pretty entertaining. I haven't seen the last one or two, but so I don't hold any ill will against the Fast and Furious. I don't watch them. Like, again, I don't seek them out, but the ones I saw, I'm like, that was kind of fun. That's fine.
I've got siblings who really like those movies. I never gotten into them myself. I'm not, and I don't know if it's because I'm not a big car person or what, but I just never saw the appeal of them, I guess.
All about family, Jessica. Family.
Apparently, I guess I'm just not in it to win it with the family stuff. Another series that I really liked the first one of, and then I was kind of like on the rest. Rambo.
The first one's the only one worth a shit.
First Blood is, I think, one of my top 20 favorite movies. I love that movie. I love the story. I love how it starts. I love just the whole situation itself. But the rest of them are so disappointing.
Well, you know what's interesting? Like you think of Rambo, you think of like a big muscular guy with machine guns blowing away bad guys, right? But that first movie, how many people did John Rambo kill?
One? No,
Zero.
I guess no, he did. Huh?
He didn't directly kill anybody. He threw a rock at the helicopter and made the helicopter rock,
Oh,
tip off its axis, and the guy fell out. And he stabbed and broke bones on people, but he didn't murder anybody, you know. And
didn't he
then every other one, he's just like machine
somebody?
guns. What's
Didn't
that?
didn't his traps murder people?
What's that?
I thought he set some traps and
None of them killed anybody. It hurt them. It incapacitated them. It stabbed them, but he didn't kill any of them, which is why he got off and was able to be out and about in the sequels. Because if he would have killed them,
I guess that's fair. You're right. All
yeah,
right.
he didn't murder anybody. And I had to have like a like some website point that out to me, and I'm like bullshit. And then I think about it, I'm like, oh
You're right. I
yeah,
think I'm like, that's bullshit. He did too. But now that you're saying, I'm like, okay, fair enough. In my head, I was thinking that, but
yeah.
yeah, that's a good
But
point.
what a great, simple, low budget, perfectly executed action movie with a surprisingly heart wrenching turn at the end. This tough, strong action guy breaks down in tears crying because of the trauma he experienced in war. You're like, oh, they're saying something. They have something to say.
Exactly. And that's why I like it. And I think it was a real, I mean, obviously that's an extreme situation, but I think that was a real problem was vets coming back from Vietnam really did face a lot of hate
Yeah,
and discrimination. It's funny, my brother, he's a big Stallone fan. Because he likes Rocky, the Rocky series. Oh, that's another one.
that's a great. Yeah, those are great.
Those are really good movies. Um, but he likes First Blood too, and he has a shirt that has a picture of him on it, and it said all he wanted was something to eat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All of this trouble, and all he really wanted was,
That
just just
that
something to eat.
king shit cop wouldn't let him. So
Yeah,
and he just
yeah,
pushed him, and then and he they pushed him to where his trauma and then his training just took over, and it's just survival mode. And once he's down that road, well, there's no stopping.
yep.
Mark Riddell says First Blood has a message. Rambo 2 is more about what the general public would think of as, and I got no issues with it. Rambo 3 is just a so-so action movie. So that makes sense. And then he says in the book, he did kill the cops and he dies at the end. I heard that. I heard that he did die in the book. I didn't know that. I've never read the book, so I didn't know how
Me.
it goes.
That's interesting that he dies in the book.
Doesn't
Um,
he die by he kills himself?
but to be fair, I think I wouldn't have loved that ending, but I think I would have preferred that over this whole, like, what is there, like 9 movies or something crap now?
Of Rambo?
There's so many movies.
There's not. There's like three original and then like a fourth one that came out some years ago and then one that just came out a couple of years ago. So there's like five.
Okay, 5. It feels like 9.
I've told you a million times to never exaggerate.
Sorry. Forgive me, Rob,
I'm just kidding.
for exaggerating.
Right. But yeah, I think Mark, correct me. Doesn't he kill himself in the book? Doesn't he put a gun to his head? And that I think they were rightfully so. The studio was like, can we not have the hero of this thing that just we're trying to like give a message about the plight of veterans coming back from war? Can we not have him fucking kill himself? Because
True, but I think that would have been an accurate situation because it did happen a lot.
right,
But I see what you're saying. I mean, do we really want to necessarily go that direction?
yeah.
Oh, you know what? The Expendables. Ugh, yes, maybe that's
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what you're thinking of. There's like nine expended. Yeah,
maybe there's like 50,000 of those. I'm just gonna
yeah.
everything now.
I saw the first two. Expendables, and they were fine. I like the concept of the first one. It's like, here's all these old action stars, and we're gonna do. We can still be action stars. I'm like, okay, I'm on board. But
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really need to follow up on more of these guys. I don't I don't care.
You know what movie, and everybody's gonna laugh at me, I really like from Stallone? Cobra.
I've seen it. It's been so long, but it feels like such a standard, cheesy, ridiculous movie. But
So easy. I love it.
yeah, it's been years since I've seen it, so I can't say. But I remember when I did see it as a younger kid, and I'm like, that was fun.
Oh man.
So thanks for the clarification, Joshua, about the Expendables. I'm like, there's not
Yeah.
that many Rambo movies. Like, I mean, I guess 5 isn't far off from 9, but still, I'm like, what
It
are
is.
you talking about? But
In my mind, I was just, throwing a number out there to be fair. But yeah, I'm probably am thinking of the old Expendables. But yeah. And Rocky is also one of my favorites as far as I mean, I don't think that's anywhere near for me like Lord of the Rings, but I go back to them all the time and watch them pretty regularly.
well, I had to reevaluate them later in my life because I've watched them and they're fine, like they're boxing movies. And I'm like, then I watch other people watch, like reviewers talk about them or articles, and they're like, they're not boxing movies. It's more of a like, it's more about this. It's that the story of this guy fighting to believe for himself that he can go the distance and he's got value, and it's like a love story. It's how much he can get through life and continue on with his wife, set in the world of boxing, but it's not about boxing.
Oh, for sure. It's about
Once
him
they
and what he
reframed
goes.
it that way, I was like, oh, right, yeah, I've been thinking about this wrong the entire time. I am stupid.
No, no. You are not stupid. Yeah, you're right though. It is. It's about everything cuz no matter what he does, um it's there's always something, there's always something about he has to prove to himself. There's always um sorry, she is awake and so I'm trying to rock her here, but yeah, it most certainly is about him as a person and what he's going through, and
Yeah.
the fights are always representative in my opinion of him overcoming whatever other obstacles in his life he's going
Oh,
through.
sure. Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely. Um, and I also think we talk about how like sequels made years later with these legacy characters can end up just shitting on the originals. But Rocky Balboa, the one
Oh,
where
Balboa, yeah.
it's so perfect. It's him as an old man. It's him struggling to survive in life. His wife died, and
His kids estranged.
yeah, and he has that scene where he says, like, he's like, "There's still something in the basement. Like, I've still got something inside. I got to do this." And I believed it and I felt it. I'm like, what a perfect movie to bring up to have this character be seen one more time while the actor's still alive and capable, and get to see Rocky be awesome one more time. And then even in the first Creed movie, I thought was great. You know,
Yeah,
where
it was
he
good.
jumped in and helped Apollo Creed's kid. I thought that one was good.
Yeah, I agree. Um, what was I say? That Rocky Balboa, that I can't remember if it's called Rocky Balboa or just Balboa. It has one of the best, in my opinion, what kind of speeches in it
Oh
where
yeah,
he's talking to his kid.
yep, I
It's
know
about,
exactly what you're talking about.
it's not about how hard you can hit, but how hard you can get hit and get up and keep going.
Yep,
It's so true.
it's
And
so profound. Yeah,
easy, but that's exactly what life is about. Like, it's not about like how tough you are, or how, I guess it's about how much you can take from the world, but, still be yourself, be able to
yeah.
come back and be strong. And,
Well,
uh,
he starts out by saying nothing is going to hit as hard as life, and so
mhm.
it doesn't matter how strong you are. Life is going to knock you to your knees if you let it. So can you keep going?
Yeah.
And beautiful. I think Stallone wrote that, and if so, fucking props to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great speech.
Yeah, it's true. That you're right. You're right. That would be. I'd like to look that up and see actually. Joshua says, "Are you going to go over that skeleton with the skin, or is it just a skeleton?" Um, it's funny. Somebody asked me a few weeks ago when we were doing one of these late lives, Joshua, if I would draw this a skeleton of a wyvern. Um, and so I'm just doing just that, just for the hell of it, I guess. Um, I don't know if I'll go over it with anything. It's kind of slow going because my daughter keeps waking up, but yeah,
And you're
that's
all about the skeletons. You kind of dig. You do those really well.
things. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I've kind of looked at a few pictures and kind of wung it here, but I don't dislike it.
It looks good to me.
Thanks. Um, Mr. D Man says, I don't think Creed will be as big as Rocky because Stallone is not producing those anymore. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the last Creed movie he wasn't involved in. In fact, Stallone was a little butthurt because they moved forward with another sequel and they didn't seek his opinion or his approval. And he's like, I thought these were my movies. I thought that I was the one that made them. Like, nope, we got a new star, so we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's rough.
I did like I think the first and the second one of the Creed movies. Maybe it's the second one. Maybe it's just the first one. I
I
can't.
think they're both good because they brought back. I mean, I like the idea of in the second one they bring back the son of Ivan Drago who killed Creed's dad. So now the sons are fighting.
Mm,
And the most interesting part to me was the scene where Rocky sits down and talks to Drago for the first time since that fight.
I haven't seen that one then. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
I must
I
not.
it was pretty good, but I felt like there could have been more to the characterization. And there's even a cut scene that they left out of the movie that you can see online. I won't tell you what it is if you ever go back and watch the actual movie itself, but there's a cut scene that they left out that I'm like, they should have left this in. This adds so much to the wrap up of the story. I can't believe they left it out.
Interesting.
Yeah. Whitney asked Rob, "Why have we watched Balboa? I don't think I've seen it." I mean, I thought you had, Ms. Ma'am. It's
Well, sounds
really
like
good.
you got your next movie night
Right.
already decided. I kind of messed up here, but and I saw that a little too late, but is what it is. Got a little bit confused here with my wings. Should have followed my original plan, but oh well.
Now you just have to incorporate it into the artwork and make it work.
Yeah, I did. Kind of. It's doing something. Whether or not it's making it work, I don't know. Um, Mr. Dima says Creed 3 kind of killed it, plus that one dude went to jail for assault. How ironic.
Yeah. The guy who was the antagonist in the third one, Jonathan Majors, who was Kang in the new Phase 4 Marvel movies that went nowhere as well.
Shocking.
Yeah. So he's a good actor, but apparently he beat the shit out of his girlfriend or wife or whatever the fuck it was. And that's kind of not cool.
Kinda.
No, I mean, sometimes it's okay.
Oh my gosh. You
Uh,
heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, you heard it. You heard it
Well,
here first.
okay to beat a significant other.
Sometimes a woman just won't listen.
Oh my gosh. My husband, many years ago, was at a job that he had. He was actually working for Honda on the line when we were very first married. And he said in orientation, everybody was kind of telling jokes and some funny things that had happened to him over the week, and getting to know everyone. And One guy said, "Yeah, my wife was pissing me off. Got in an argument in the car, and then I slammed her head into the dash, and then slammed her head into the window, and opened the door and kicked her out."
Jesus Christ.
And everyone was silent. And he's like, "It's like I wanted to say, nothing funnier than spousal abuse, right?" But it's like the rest of us were just like, "What are you talking about, man? Like, why would you share that story?" with
Yeah.
us?"
Why would you think that's okay?
Like everybody just, was just silent, and he was like laughing, I guess.
Beat my wife. She had it coming, fucker.
Yeah, he's. I don't know. He was just kind of like, he's like, it was just weird. Iron Man trilogy is another example of a one good movie, two bad movies deal.
I disagree.
I
I
not gonna
like them all.
remember the first one really well. I don't remember the second one very well. I don't remember the third one at all.
Yeah. I like them all. I mean, I get what they're saying, but I'm a fan of all of them. In varying degrees. But for me, I'm fine with them.
You know what movie trilogy I like that I know a lot of people don't?
What's
The
that?
Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans.
I'm kind of like what most people say is like the last one was a big mess because the director had a whole bunch of stuff forced on him.
That's true. I'm not the third one. I can take it or leave it. But I liked the first two a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the success of them cannot be underplayed or like dismissed. They were huge movies before the Marvel Cinematic Universe came along. They were the superhero trilogy, maybe next to X-Men occasionally getting it right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, just for me as a kid, my dad was a big Spider-Man fan, and he loved him. He loved this. I mean, I guess he had read the comic books, and he said there was a few things they got, or a lot of things they got wrong, but he really liked the character, the way that Tobey Maguire played it, and so we'd always stay up late whenever he'd bring home. Back when we had video stores, he'd home the when it came out in video for us all to sit down and watch.
Yeah,
Did
they were.
Sam ever get the money for his daughter's medical bills? I don't know. It's a good question. The question. Maybe he already had paid them before the end there. Who's to know?
I
What?
quite connect with those Spider-Man movies quite as much because I mean a lot of people are like Tobey Maguire is the best version of Peter Parker ever, and I never felt that. I didn't dislike
Me
him.
I felt that.
I wasn't like, yes, that's Spider-Man. In the like I felt like Hugh Jackman like felt like Wolverine in
Yeah, no
I was
kidding.
like that I like that first time we see him in that first X-Men movie where he's in that like cage fight, and then there's a scene where he like punches a guy's fist and their hands clash, and it cuts to a scene of Hugh Jackman like gritting his teeth and he stands up. I'm like, holy shit, that's Wolverine. Like that's exactly him. But I never felt that about Tobey Maguire. I mean, when he's in the costume, that's one thing because that could be anybody. But just the guy, just the actor, I liked him. But I'm like, I don't feel like I'm seeing the definitive version of him.
Wow. I guess we'll have to disagree on this one. I never really read the comic books. Again, my dad did. He loved the character, and so I just kind of, I just have fond memories of them. Maybe that's the only reason why I think they're so good. I don't know.
And they are good. I'm not saying they're not. It just for me, it didn't quite. And I
Mr.
don't
Man
mind
says
that Hugh
movies
Jackman was way
suck.
too tall, right? Yeah. And, the problem is that Wolverine's supposed to be a short guy, but and Hugh Jackman is super tall. But that didn't bother me one bit. I was fine with it all.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Gecko loves you says, "Why are you not famous?"
Yeah, Jessica, why are you not famous?
I think he's talking about, or he or she is talking about you.
You don't know that.
It's your channel. I think I do. Mark says I read a lot of Spider-Man as a kid. Um, Mr. Demon says those movies suck. Spider-Man works better as animation. I did like the animation a lot too, but I don't think those movies suck. Disagree with you there, Mr. D Man, but I still love you. Simply okay. Hold on. This is a name I don't recognize. Pixie. I love your drawings. Sorry if I butchered your name there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Mark says Sophie Turner as Jean Grey is one of my least favorite castings.
I didn't mind her that much. I still don't feel like it was the definitive version of Jean Grey by any means, but I didn't mind her. Everyone hated her, but I was like, she's fine. I'm kind of okay with it. It's just that the movie she was in sucked.
As I say, I almost feel like that could be on the movie. I don't know. More than anything, I don't know. Uh, Mr. Demon says he's not famous because he actually has some integrity, unlike Rob Liefeld. Oh my goodness.
Zing.
Well, he just put it out there.
Probably more to it than that, but you know.
Your stuff is looking hella good, by the way.
Thanks.
Really love it.
These 4 pages are taking me forever to get through just because there's so many different shots of all these characters. I have to like draw all these fuckers. It's just so like,
Hey, you created it, man.
I did. I got to have scenes where they're all together. I do kind of like this these kind of couple faces right here. I felt that these were fun. They came out all right.
I'll have to look at it here. I can only see it on my, because I got the chat pulled up here. Let's see. Oh yeah, your stats. I remember this page now.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, that one that you just pulled away with all of them together, like the kind of further away viewpoint of them, that looks really good.
It's the
Really,
thing. If you take the time and kind of give it the effort, it tends to. It's worth it if you put in the effort. It's just so tedious.
yeah, no, I get that.
Whitney's loving your dragon drawing.
Thank you. It's yours, Whitney. I will send it when I do, when I will,
Yeah.
with the stuff I'm sending Rob.
Uh-huh.
I will. I
She's
are.
say that a lot.
I know I do. And I always think I'm going to. I don't say it with ill intent.
You're like, I'm absolutely gonna go tomorrow, and then it's 3 weeks later, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go tomorrow.
And I'm going to have to get your address again because I forgot it.
You know what? Maybe I don't want to give you my address.
You do.
Whitney will give it to you if nothing.
I will just message her.
You're
So,
like, you can just get it from me. That's just fine. And you're like, just send me the dragon drawing, and then fuck Rob and all his
Rob
shit.
being an ass, and she'll be like, ugh, again.
Right?
Just the typical. Uh, Mr. Demon says, and Rob Norton is a better artist than Lightfeld. Mic drop. MHA fan says, is that anime? Is it anime, Rob?
Is this anime? I mean, does it look like anime? I mean, I don't think it does.
It doesn't really.
It does not. It's
But I'm not sure if you're referring to the dragon. It could be.
yeah, that could be. That could
This could
absolutely be.
be. This could be. I could see that more. Um, when he says, "Thanks, Mr. D-Man. Now I have to deal with his ego." And she
Like,
said, "Will
yeah,
give me the address."
the guy on the internet tells me that I'm better than Rob Liefeld, so ha.
Yeah, I did watch short. I didn't finish the entire thing. I think I sent it to you because it suggested it on my YouTube, a video about him.
Yeah,
I did not know that he was that young when he entered the old.
young kid. That's the problem. That's what Chuck talks about all the time, or he's mentioned several times. He's like, Liefeld got extremely popular at a young age doing the crap that he does. He's like, I don't need to get better because look,
Yeah,
I I'm successful.
yeah.
So why do I need to change? And then he's gotten worse. Remember the horse?
You mean the dinosaur?
Truth.
You mean the raptor?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Maybe this dragon looks like a horse. I don't know. Mark Dumowitz. Wow, I'm a dummy and forgot this was happening. No, you're not a dummy, Mark.
I mean, a little.
Okay, no, don't listen to Rob.
I'm kidding.
I know more than he does. And I say that you are not. You just got a big ego tonight, as we just discussed.
Yeah. Rob's swelling up. Know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I don't know if I want to continue on with that conversation.
Like, anyway, we'll just move right on and pretend that Rob didn't say some gross shit.
Yeah. Get all the kids all upset in the chat.
Right.
Marco Rydell says he didn't get better, he got worse.
New Mutants, X Force to Youngblood. You're right.
Yeah,
Right.
did indeed. I don't even know that much about it. I just think it's funny. I didn't even. I wouldn't say I had never heard his name before because I'm sure I had, but I really have gotten to know his work well thanks to Rob Norton here. Just put my baby on the floor.
Did she finally pass out?
It was, yeah, and she is like a little heater. Whew.
Did you put her on the floor?
On a pillow.
Whatever. You're like, no, Rob, I dropped her on the
She's
ground.
comfortable.
No, I'd do that all the time when my other ones were little guys. I'm like, oh, they're asleep. Just set them on the ground, put a blanket around them, and just everyone fucking shut up and let them sleep.
It's true. Good point.
Right?
Mr. Demon says Mark is not the dummy. YouTube is. Yeah. I'm still working on the group drop piece. That is going to be sick when that is done, by the way. Uh, Mark's vampire uh, Camilla drawing.
Yep. Yep. His and Gaten's were really good.
Just like, I can't even. You guys should be doing videos like this. Like, I'm not even joking, Mark. Like, I'm being serious. That is crazy to me what you accomplished in the time we were just streaming.
I agree.
Oh, Miss Dreaman says I watched that documentary about Image Comics. Liefeld at Extreme Studios spent money like water.
Yeah, well, he was making millions of dollars, so he had money to spend, but he certainly wasn't concerned about making quality books.
Damn. Savage Department. Rob speaking. Demi asks, didn't he create Deadpool? He did, right?
Liefeld did, yeah.
Yeah.
But for people who don't know,
The
there
bug.
are several characteristic traits that are extremely popular about Deadpool that Liefeld did not have. Specifically, the fourth wall breaking stuff. That was not part of Deadpool when Liefeld created him. Some other writers added that after the fact, years after,
Mm.
and they deserve credit for adding that element to the character. So that it's an important distinction.
You can't let Liefeld have anything.
Oh, not anything he didn't earn, but he wants to make everyone feel like he did it all, and he did not do it all. He
Mm.
did create the name and the design and the look and the basic premise, which is funny, evil Spider-Man. That's what Deadpool is.
Yes.
Like he's a character in red with big bug-eye kind of shapes on his mask. He talks a lot of shit. He's a good fighter. So it's evil Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
Kind of. Yeah.
that's legit. But the fourth wall breaking, that is not anything he had.
Or like Spider-Man for adults. I don't know. I used to really like the Deadpool comic books, especially one of the series I've read a few from. One series I've read a few from. I used to have a few.
Yeah.
They were very funny, I thought. But I don't know if those are ones written by Liefeld because I didn't pay any attention.
No, he didn't draw any of the Deadpool comics. He drew Deadpool in New Mutants and X Force, which are books he did work on. But any of the books that were just titled Deadpool way back in the day, he does a bunch of modern ones now. But the old school ones that were just Deadpool by themselves, he did not do.
Okay. Yeah, these would have been older ones.
Hey, I got to say, Mark Riddell, I agree with you 100%. He says, hot take, the fourth wall breaking is overrated. I liked it better when he was just a fast talking, like mercenary. I agree with you 100%. I don't like the fourth wall breaking. I get sick of that shit a lot. So I've always said the best version of Deadpool was the original version Liefeld created, where he's just a smart talking murderous asshole. But he always has to stop and talk to us and make jokes about chimichangas or something. I get fucking sick of it.
Why?
It just gets old, and it's also because everyone on the planet is suddenly a Deadpool fan, and it's like I hate to sound like that pretentious douchebag. It's like I knew him before he was popular, but it's like I've
But
known what this character is for decades before everyone's like, "Isn't Deadpool fucking awesome?" I'm like, "Yes, please tell me about how awesome it is. I would love to hear your opinion on it."
but for me, I haven't even seen the movies, and I knew who Deadpool was before the movies came out. To be fair,
Yeah. Well, that puts you in the cool crowd.
but I did not. I wouldn't say that I knew all these things about him.
Yeah.
I still have yet to see the movie. And
They are entertaining. I'll give it to Ryan Reynolds. His humor is infectious. I know. We just crossed the line where you're not into Ryan Reynolds. We've had this conversation many times.
no, it's fine. My brother, he like messaged me. He's been doing him and his wife have been making a list of chick flicks, and then they watch them and then they rate them. He was like, "You gotta watch The Proposal if you haven't seen it. I think that movie is so funny to be a chick flick." And I didn't realize that Ryan Reynolds in it. And I'm watching it. And I'm like, again, I don't know what it is about him. I don't think he's that funny. But I mean, there were some humorous moments and he did a good job and he's a good actor. And like I said this before, I personally think outside of that, he's one of the most genuine people in Hollywood.
Yep.
I actually think I mean, maybe I'm being fooled, but I feel like he's probably actually a decent husband and a good father and all those things. But I don't know why. He doesn't really do it for me, I guess.
Yep. Mark
Um,
asks, did we already talk about Dune 2? Yes, we did.
it's been talked about. How do you feel about it, Mark? It'd be interesting to hear Mark's, take. He says, "Holy moly, tell us how you really feel." That's what I was saying.
Wait a minute.
Uh, Margaret L says, "I love John Byrne, She-Hulk." Brine, is it Byrne? How?
Burn, B-Y. Yeah, it's pronounced burn.
Okay, I just never know if I've last names are the worst. Uh, Mr. Demon says, Mark Rydell, young Grippa said he was gonna save the comics industry. We saw how that turned out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
Just a guy who did a Kickstarter and made a shit ton of money and made a book that, in a lot of circles, is like, for all the money he made and all the hype around it, was like, this kind of sucks. But
Mm,
they made millions of dollars on a Kickstarter, and good for them. Like, they got
yeah.
an audience. That's fine. Like, I wish I was making $3 million on Kickstarters.
Yeah, true. Me as well. Me as well. Mark says, I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely will. I love the first one. Okay.
Yeah, me and you, brother, loved it. And the sequel, amazing. I'm going again. I'm going to go check it a second time. Jessica's going with her other daughter some point.
Yeah, we'll have her next week. She'll be here instead of at our mom's, and she asked me to go, and I said, hell yeah.
Husband's not interested in seeing it.
She didn't ask him. She asked me. So,
You're
which
like, fuck.
I'm her stepmom, so I was a little bit surprised, not that we're not close. We're actually fairly close, to be honest, but, I just kind of assumed she would ask him, but
Is that not your husband's kind of thing, though? Like, would he see it on his own, or is he like, that's not my shit, I don't care?
he wouldn't go to a movie theater. He's not social. Like, he doesn't like being around people and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, he has really become quite fine with being a homebody. I'm the only one that goes to the movies ever. So maybe that's why she asked me if she knew that. He's also not a very big movie and TV person. It's hard to find a series that he likes or wants to get into,
yeah, that's fair.
truthfully. So, which is interesting. We always start stuff and then I just end up finishing it. It's true. I watch like everything by myself. It's so sad.
So sad. No one will watch TV with me.
It's true. No one will.
Yeah.
Hear your boys in the background.
Did you hear that? Yeah, that's my little one. He's out there watching whatever weird shit he watches on YouTube. That I should probably be monitoring their viewing habits a little closer. But
I have not been doing that with mine, so no judgment here. Although, agreed, I should also be doing that. It just has not happened.
I mean, they're pretty good. They don't want. There's shit they know that if they come across, they're not supposed to watch. They know that. Especially my oldest boy. He's very much a rule follower, so he'd stop his younger brother from watching anything. But
Mm,
just weird shit that they both don't know what it is. And I'm like, you watch the dumbest shit. I don't say that to them, but think
I
it.
say my kids.
I think it a lot.
I tell them all the time, like, what is this stupid? Is this? I always call it brain rot. What is this brain rot?
Mark's asking, what does your husband do for entertainment then? Books or video games? Even I can answer that question.
He is a major PC gamer.
Gamer.
He's a big gamer. He does read a lot though too. He's big into fantasy books. He's his favorite series is Wheel of Time. and he hates the Amazon Prime original series that they made off of those books. He cannot stand them. And that was one things that I kind of got him to, hey, let's watch this series because you like this book.
Like,
And
hey,
he
babe, let's sit down. Let's share this.
pretty much. But yeah, he's a big gamer, big gamer.
Mark Riddell is saying, I'd like to see Rob review the Isom, the Ripperverse books. Um, I mean, if I ever get my hands on them.
I don't know if you're sounding robotic to me. Am I sounding robotic to you?
Not to me, no.
Okay. You were sounding a little robotic there for a hot minute.
Yeah, we'll see if people say something. It's been a minute since I did that. Remember, I used to do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, and usually I was too, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah. Anybody in the chat? Is it still sounding weird? Yeah, I'm double checking. All right, they're saying a couple of them said it's fine on there. So maybe it's just a brief thing. Oh shit.
What? Getting tired?
Mig says sounding a little gay over here. All right, buddy.
Hey now.
Everyone's a little gay.
That's true. No one should deny that either.
I know some girls that are very kind of gay.
Oh, really? Who's that?
I ain't mentioning names.
Yeah, I think I know who you thinking you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Just because I can appreciate the human figure.
Just because you were like, be like, you see this girl? She's fucking hot. I'm like, right?
I have done that a few times. Yeah, because I can tell when someone's fuckable. I don't think that's that crazy.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part. What was that?
I just said I can tell when somebody's fuckable. I don't think it's that crazy.
No, right? See? There you go. I'm trying not to imagine. I'll just
Imagine
stop
what
that moment right there.
things are getting really weird now,
It
Rob.
is. No, it's Saturday night. It's time to get weird.
That's true.
I get it. It's like, hey, there's a human being. I would definitely fuck that human being.
I mean, some people are just super attractive. People in general.
Tell me about it. I
Oh gosh, here we go.
know. Sex appeal. Some guys got it. Some guys don't.
Oh wow.
All right. Yeah, Mark's like, kids not in the stream tonight. Doesn't look like it. Not. I mean, there's been one or two weirdos, but you know, not like it has been other times where it was really weird.
My little baby just rolled off the pillow onto the floor.
But stayed asleep.
Mm-hmm. He's
Uh,
moving a little bit, but he might wake up. Mm-hmm.
moved on to something else.
Yeah, I'm working on this Shira.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Do you really think so?
Do you think I'm lying?
I can't tell. I think you're telling the truth.
Like, I guess you are. Maybe, perhaps.
I'd like to say that you are telling the truth, but could just be being nice. Oh, there she is. Hello there. She's like, why are you still up?
Right? Like, Mom, come on.
What is the deal there?
She's like, I'm just an infant, but even I know.
Probably.
How old is she now?
She is, oh, I don't know, a couple weeks away from being 3 months, I guess.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't feel like that long ago that you were just a very pregnant girl.
Yep, no, it doesn't feel that long ago to me either.
When's the next one?
Shut your trap.
Shut your hole. You know that shit's done.
Shut your whore mouth.
My whore mouth is shut.
Thank you. Oh, there's like comments and I didn't even see them.
Oh.
Let's see. We've got Mr. Demon says, I feel sorry for all them suckers who paid $20 for iSong.
That's that book we were talking about where the guy had like a hugely successful crowdfunder with millions of dollars, but the book is widely considered, from what I can tell, to not be very good.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's not good.
$20 to pay for like a regular standard size, you know, 20 something page comic. That's asking a lot. I asked $20 for my big old thick ass 127-page books.
$20 donation.
$20 donation to the channel.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. Now, granted, they're black and white, but I mean, so what? Like, you're getting a lot more from me.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm like trying to like compare myself to these guys, and they're like, "Yeah, buddy. Well, guess what? We got millions of dollars, so fuck yourself." I'm like, "All right, fair. I'll shut my whore mouth."
Like you should.
Right?
A good point. Um, Mr. Demon says $13 for a comic, $7 for shipping. And Mr. Ugh, I'm starting to get tired. I can tell. My wind is gone. That I said I feel so much more alive. I'm starting to feel tired now. Mark says, "Yeah, I'd rather buy back issues with $20."
Yeah.
Also, he overprinted, so sold the extras at a lesser price, and the damaged the collector's appeal. Yee, that sucks. Mr. Demon says he still has Alpha Core, and is this Yara coming out? Yeah.
Yari. Some other titles from them. Like, good for them.
Young Ribbit tried to be like Image, but he couldn't get any good artists and writers because they're all at DC and Marvel.
Oh, little baby squeak.
Yeah, she is not having it tonight. I might have to jump off. I can
Yeah.
get in that cranky mode.
Well, we have been going 2.5 hours, so
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
I should probably go out there and tell my children to get their asses in bed sometime.
Okay.
Not quite. That's my oldest boy walking by. He heard me. He's like, "All right." He's such a rule follower. He's like, "Okay, Dad, I'll go to bed." I'm like, "Well, not this instant, my boy."
Dude, my kids have been in bed for a long time now.
So you're trying to say I'm a terrible father. I understand.
Nope, because my kids were up till midnight last night. And then they slept in super late this morning. But they got to, because I want to talk about being a terrible parent. They had their birthday lunches at school this week, and I didn't want to go because it was like, bring a Chick-fil-A meal for your kid and come and celebrate the summer birthdays because they're not in school. I'm like, I will celebrate this birthday with them on their birthday. And guys, if I don't go to this shit and I let you stay up till midnight on Friday, would that be an okay trade off? And they said yes. So that's what I did.
Well, I like that.
Thanks. I liked it too.
You like me too, because I didn't have to go.
Well, your stuff's looking real good. I'm probably going to jump off here, but
Alrighty.
nice chatting with you.
Yeah.
And everybody else on here.
It's been a fun one. Kind of
Yeah.
a calmer night rather than all the monsters that usually jump on here and disrupt everything. But
Yeah. Yeah, sure. It was good. It was
I'm
fun.
going to say real quick, Mark Riddell saying the real thing is the Ripa stuff is a part of the culture war stuff. And I think there's a larger scope to comic critique than woke, not woke. And I agree. They kind of, I don't know if they did it intentionally to interject themselves into the modern political world. And that's part of their plan, which I think it is because they feel like too many modern comics are going woke. And I actually agree in a lot of ways. And I understand them wanting to do something counter to that. That's fine. You still got to make a good book.
Yeah.
But but anyway, yeah, it's been a long stretch here, so 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna go check on my children's.
Same, same. I'm actually just going to go to bed. I probably won't check on my kids. Might watch some anime. We'll see where that takes me. But it was awesome seeing you guys. As far as Monday, we're talking 5 o'clock Mountain Standard.
Yep.
Okay, let's do it. Sounds
Yeah.
fun to me.
It'll be alive, but not drawing. Just you'll get to see our faces as we just chit chat about whatever the hell. Jessica's got some questions she's gonna grill me on,
If
including
anybody is,
some from the fans too.
yeah. So if anybody has specific questions they want to ask Rob, maybe they don't want to ask them, you know, on here. Maybe they're too bashful. Um, you can put them on his YouTube channel. Or if you want to go to my Instagram, you can just DM them to me. My Instagram is Blackbird Ink Art. So you can go look and do that. Or during the live, you can just post them up in here if you'd like, and I'll just read them off as well. So, but obviously, if I've got a good list going beforehand, I might, just make sure yours gets asked. If there's anything pressing you want to ask,
Gave permission for you to slide into her DMs.
I did. Slide on in there, baby.
Wow.
What? What?
Now I feel awkward.
Why do you feel awkward? I'm the one that said it.
Well put.
But seriously, yeah, definitely let me know if you got something you want to ask. And then next Thursday one, if anybody wants to start doing this, who's on here, because I've noticed there's a few people who I don't know if they're in the Discord, but I seem to be logging on and commenting and following.
Yeah.
Um, we do Thursday nights are our group draws where you can draw along with us with whatever we're drawing. Sometimes Rob participates, sometimes he's too good for us. But the Discord link is on your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I can post it because it tends to get buried a little bit. So
Yeah.
I thought I had a permanent link, but I don't know if I know how to do that right. But I can go repost it.
I'm gonna guess you probably don't know how to do that right.
And
Um, but if you get on Discord, we decide early in the week, kind of take a vote, talk amongst ourselves, what we'd like to draw. That way you can decide what you'd like to see us draw. And then also, if you want to draw something and you want to participate, you can post up your pictures and art in there as well and chat. So it can be really fun. I really enjoyed our last one a lot.
yeah, and there's been a lot of really good artwork coming out of that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people, especially the people that do digital work, have the ability to like interject lettering and coloring and doing all this kind of really crazy creative stuff, which and I always feel like that stuff is looking kind of the best. I just sit down and kind of sketch in pencil, and it's never going to turn out as visually interesting as so many of those other guys is, but it's always a fun, you know, a fun
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, I really have loved it. I mean, Mark here, I mean, he does crazy stuff. Gayton too. Uh who else is it that's on there? I mean, it's fun. There's really cool things that are coming out, like Rob just said. So if you want to join up and you want to do that, that would be cool. And we do that on Thursday nights at 5 o'clock
Yep.
Mountain Standard Time.
Mark says, I love this summary of upcoming events, two of you becoming pro. And I was actually sitting here thinking as you were going over all this, Jess, I'm like, this sounds like a very official thing. Like, you're really good at this. So
Oh, really?
it's like, we do this and join us here. And then if you want to come here, join us up there. And I'm like,
Oh.
God damn, there's a reason I have you on here.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. No, I just think it's kind of nice to, because if you're joining up tonight and there's some people who have said, oh, I was subscribed, they may not know all that too, and maybe
Yep.
they would be interested in it. So, just throwing it out there.
Yep.
But yes, thank you. I appreciate that feedback. Um, but yeah, anyway, we will see you all on Monday.
Yep. Yes, we will.
Good night.
All right. See you, everybody.
Night.